Hello, welcome back to the podcast. Today, it's episode 190. It's a bit different because it's actually the day of my solo show, Half Soaked. So this episode, not the most professionally edited, I'm going to be honest. I've got to rehearse and there's loads of fun packed in, don't worry. We've got a juicy confession about a fake jewellery from my mother-in-law and one of the best British problems I've ever read, honestly. I agree with it so much, I might even turn it into a bit of material. We'll talk about whether doctors should stop scribbling. Apparently, a court in India thinks so. And then, there's a local crackhead who wants to take something down in my neighbourhood. You need to listen to this podcast. It's all happening in episode 190, Crackheads in my area. This is how much I'm committed to this podcast. I'm recording this on the day that I should be rehearsing and practicing for my solo show. It's happening today. Not today as in, because obviously I've already done it. But it is today, Sunday, the 5th of October. That is the day of my solo show, Half Soaked, at the Birmingham Comedy Festival. Now, I would say come down, but I can't. Because, as you know, this podcast always gets released on a Monday. Was supposed to record this the day before. Could not be able to do it. I wanted to get it out of the way. My builders turned up. They ended up working literally outside my little office, #garage room, where I record this podcast, and I was unable to do it. Ended up just doing the usual stuff. You know, yep, that's right, painting. That's what I ended up doing. So, yeah, this is like I've got to do it. I thought, shall I just leave it and just not bother doing one? I thought, no, people like to listen to me in the morning. I don't know why. I get a couple of downloads a week, and then it gradually builds up. So why not just keep my listeners entertained? So I really hope you appreciate this. Me taking my time out where I could just be going over my set and remembering bits. That's a problem when you're doing a solo show. I don't always get to do the same material at a club night because I'm always used to just, using my banking material that I know is going to work, especially when it's a club where you've been called back, which is what happened to me last night. So last week I did a comedy gig for a club called Last Laugh in Sheffield, and my spot went so well, they called me back, and I was there. I was there last night, and it was fantastic. It was great. The people were nice. They enjoyed themselves. I listened back to my recording, and it sounded great. I did not video it, unfortunately. That never happened, so that's fine. I was going to, but I ended up just speaking to all the other comics in the green room, and I thought, do you know what? I'll leave it. It's always that time when you leave something, that magic will happen in the room. Bit of magic, and you think, I could have set my camera up for that, and then I could have clipped it up. But oh well, that is life. So, yep. My solo show today, I don't know how many people I'm going to get in. I'm a little bit, not nervous, I'm just maybe anxious more than nervous, because I just want to get my material right. As I mentioned, that's the most important thing for me, is getting it right. Trying to see if it flows as well. Maybe I need a director to go over my show and help me, polish it up a little bit, make it smooth. And then I want to learn all of it, obviously. I do know it, but I want to remember the order. I don't want to be looking down at my card going, okay, what's the next bit I'm going to do now? I just want to remember it all and take it on tour. That's my dream. You folks know, yeah. I did the Glee Club last Sunday. That was great. So I've got a couple of people from there who are at the gig going to come to see my show. They've already booked tickets. I had people message me on Instagram going, I couldn't remember the time of your show. Could you just let me know again? And stuff like that is great. Do you know what I mean? Like, I can't wait. So this might be a shorter podcast than usual. I know I always say that, don't I? Oh, it's a short podcast. I still end up doing 30 minutes. I might not edit it. I might just be a rebel. So you'll be like, oh, he usually does this on after this bit, but now he doesn't care. I haven't got time to edit, unfortunately, folks. So if there is some mistakes, or if I do end up repeating myself or pausing, I do apologise. But we'll see. Let's do a topic. I've chosen to do a confession for this one. And as a pro, I've got to get my music ready, and that's not even ready. I've already lost the magic, but I am a professional, as I said, and I'm trying to find the jingle. Here it is. So here is today's confession on the Reddit forum. Yes, it is confession time. This one has been put up by somebody called Key Economics. Key Economics is literally saying, my mother-in-law gave me a gold chain, which ended up being fake. Oh, that's brilliant. He got a gift off his mother-in-law. He thought it was a gold chain, and it wasn't even a gold chain. That's great. Gold is expensive, mate. Oh, this making me laugh. They're not Indians, are they? Because Indians love gold. I'm telling you, man. That's the main gift people want, is gold, because it's an investment. You'll never ever lose money on it. And yeah, if you want to give somebody a gift, an Indian, if it's a wedding or whatever, give them gold. They'll be the happiest people on the planet. So let's find out what happened to Key Economics. He's saying, my mother-in-law gifted me a gold chain about 7 years ago. Her exact words were, you should wear more jewellery. What do you do with all your money? Which she wasn't wrong, because I'm pretty frugal when it comes to spending. I wore that chain a couple of times, but after some time I noticed it started losing colour. That's the first signal. When we visited last week, she asked me why I never wear it, so I told her I do sometimes to not make her feel bad, but I made sure to tell her it's fake. Maybe she didn't know, which is what he's saying. She didn't believe it, arguing how is it not possible, and saying her either real gold needs to be cleaned, which he also did. Then she took me into this rabbit hole, explaining how she saw the chain on the street and a stranger found it at the same time. He picked it up first, but insisted she'd take it. Is this true? This cannot be true. But asked if she has a ring to send to his mother. She gave him a broken ring in exchange for her chain. She got conned. That's what it sounds like. So someone obviously put this fake gold chain on the floor, trying to make it sound really good. Oh, have you got a ring? She's probably got a diamond ring. Even told me it had a packaging with price tags, and she took it to a jeweller who confirmed it was real gold and offered to buy it. She refused because she wanted to keep it. But I'm confused, like, if this story is true, how did the jeweller not notice it was fake? Because the guy just giving away a chain for a ring sounds like a scam. That's what I said, mate. Sounds like a proper scam. Maybe they were running a setup and she fell into it. That's what I assumed as well. So he must have had a mate who's got a gold shop or a pawn shop, whatever it is. And he went, if anyone comes in with this chain, just tell them it's real. He probably sent her there, most likely. Key Economics saying maybe they were running a setup and she fell into it. That's what I believe. The street she told me this happened is super frequent, by the way. So I'm guessing when he means super frequent that there's a lot of dodgy people in that area. The amazing thing is, I mean, it's nice of your mother-in-law to give you something, but for her to tell you the story that she found it on the floor and still gave you that gold chain is what's the funniest thing about it. I would love to know the ring that she gave to this person. What was the value of that ring? I should try that. I've got a couple of. I don't wear any jewellery, to be honest. The only thing I've got is my wedding ring and a silver chain, which one of my old friends gave to me. And I don't even wear the silver chain, although I do love silver. I'm not really a fan of gold. I don't know why. It just never appeals to me. I don't even think it looks that pretty, to be honest. I'm more of a shiny person, so I think silver, platinum is something that I would go for, but maybe I just need to find one on the floor. I feel like my microphone is super sensitive. Now, I did have to play about with my sound equipment. My daughter's been using my PC, and it's in a total mess. Like, my desk is never clean. I'm not going to lie, people. This is my confession to you. Like, I've got stuff everywhere. I don't even know why. I'm going to tell you what is on my desk. I wasn't even going to do this, but I've just been looking around at everything I've got, and this, honestly, I don't know. If I took a picture of my desk and you looked at it, you'll go, you really are an unmessy, untidy person. Why is your desk like that? First of all, I've got just paper everywhere, and I'm talking random papers. Like, I've got an old flyer. I'm looking at it now. It's an old flyer from when I did the Edinburgh Fringe Festival. I was on a lineup in Edinburgh, and I was there for the whole month. The date isn't on it, but I've still got that flyer because my face is on there. I even look young. That's how old it is. And guess what? I don't have a beard on there. I'm clean shaven. I've got more hair on my head. I actually look like my son. I look like a 14-year-old on that picture. And there's other comics that are on the lineup with me. Scott Bennett, he's on there. He's a top comic, and he looks proper young in it. Some other comics on here haven't really changed, but that's on there. I don't even know why that's on my desk. I don't know where it's come from. It's just probably dropped. I've got a DVD of my daughter's first birthday party. That's on my desk. I've got paper. I've got CDs. You remember them things? CDs. I've got CDs on my desk and DVDs. Like, I'm on about the actual discs. I don't even have a CD writer. I've got blank DVDs on my desk. I've got paper. I've got my phone's box that my mobile phone came in. I've still got that. I mean, why is that on my desk? I don't even need it. Do you know what I mean? I've got Adam Bloom's Finding Your Comic Genius book, and I've only read the first chapter. That's how bad I am at books. Pencils, camera. Oh, my desk is a mess. I don't even know why. I was going to say sorry about that, but you lot don't care because you can't see it. But on top of that, it's topped off with dust. There's dust. I don't know. I don't even know what I'm telling you. I was gonna tell you something else, and then yeah. Do you know what? Let's do another topic before I absolutely lose my mind. It's going to be British problems. problems, British problems, we've all got them. This is the jingle, 'cause I can't be bothered to pay for one. There we go. That was the British problems jingle, and very British, wasn't it, that music? Who's got today's British problem? Somebody called Broccoli Offensive. What a great name. What is it they have their British problem on? They're saying, am I the only one that thinks the rules of the road should be used when food shopping? Do you know what? I absolutely agree. And that's how I push my trolley in the supermarket. I honestly use my shopping trolley like I'm in my car. I imagine I'm in a little go-kart. I stick to the left. I give way. I make sure that I don't obstruct my trolley in anyone else's way. That's how I do it. And, and when I see people with their trolleys hanging out in the aisle, it gets on my nerves. Honestly, it's like it's like having a learner driver. He's trying to do a 3-point turn in the meat aisle, and they just decide to leave their trolley there for like a minute. And you're thinking, mate, move your trolley, man. I'm trying to get through. Don't you have any consideration? I think people who do shop in supermarkets who just leave their trolleys in the middle of the aisle don't drive. Or don't know how to drive. Let's continue, because I love this. They don't pull away without looking. That's true. They don't exit an aisle without seeing if anyone else is coming by. They don't leave your trolley in an area that could obstruct others. That's exactly what I said. And if you're slow, let others pass you. This is brilliant. I love it. It is, honestly, mate, 100% agree with you. This is probably one of the best British problems I've ever read. And I thought it was just me. Honestly, when I go shopping, I always put my trolley to the left. I make sure it's not in anyone's way. And I even look all the time. Like, say I'm blocking, I don't know, say I'm blocking the bacon and the sausages. And I've just where I put my trolley, right? And I'm going on the other side, opposite. Maybe I'm grabbing a quiche or something like that. And I look, and I always look behind me to make sure there's nobody who wants to grab a pack of sausages. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's the kind of person I am. I generally treat my shopping trolley like I'm in my car. Absolute madness. I've never had road rage. I hate shopping on a weekend because there's just trolleys everywhere. And sometimes you can't even get through. That's the most annoying part. Also, the Broccoli Offensive adds on the end of his post, don't be looking at your phone unless it's safe to do so. How many people have you seen pushing their trolley and looking at the mobile phone? I think we all need to take a trolley test drive. Trolley driving license push. I don't even know, because you're not actually driving. I was trying to think of a word for it. But that is brilliant. Absolutely love it. And then he ends with parked off to the side. Park on the side when it's safe to do so. Oh, God. I can imagine in the future they'll have wing mirrors, won't they? Or like side mirrors on the trolleys. I mean, it's bad enough trying to push a Costco trolley, mate. If you've never been to Costco, go to Costco. It's going to blow your mind, because those kind of... that's like driving a HGV. Because it's massive. Oh, God, I love doing this. This is what I love about Reddit, is because I get so inspired by people's posts. I end up writing material on it. And do you know what? I think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to compare food shopping and trolley to driving, because I think there's a lot of material in it. But I'll give it a try. I just want to say Thank you, Broccoli Offensive, for your British problem. Oh, guess what? I've got my own British problem. This is what I was meant to tell you guys before, and then I ended up telling you about my desk, which I don't want to go back into because I can't stand the sight of it. I've got my own British problem. You know when you don't, we know when you expect something without expecting it. This is what happened to me. I came back from work. I parked on my neighbour's drive because my drive, I'm not able to park on it. I've got to skip on there. And my wife's car was already on the drive, so I parked on my neighbour's drive. And out of nowhere, I saw this woman, right? Now, first of all, I'll tell you what happened. She come up to me and initially, straight away, thought, crackhead. You know when you see someone on the street and you think, crackhead, drug user, and then you start thinking, what are they doing in my area, on my road? She walked up and she come over to me and she went, excuse me, mate, have you got a ladder? And I went, a ladder? What do you want a ladder for? And she said, I just want to take down the flags. And I went, you want to walk round and take down the Union Jack and the St. George's flags? And she went, yeah, I don't like the look of them, mate. I want to take them down. Have you got a ladder? I said to her, I don't have a ladder. Guess what I did? I did the classic thing. I got her to go to one of my other neighbours instead. Because he was driving up and I seen him trying to park his car on his drive. And I went, talk to him. I'm sure he's got one. Talk to him. And then she went, all right then. And she walked off. And then when I looked at her, I observed her and I noticed she had, this is no lie, she was wearing a T-shirt and a bathrobe. Right, she had a black bathrobe on. And then I looked at her feet. She wasn't even wearing shoes. She only had on a pair of socks. And they were Villa socks. Aston Villa football socks. I thought this, either she's, lost the plot, not unwell mentally, or she generally is a crack addict, or probably a thief. I wouldn't be surprised if she's both, because I noticed there's a couple of them walking up and down the street. Maybe they're staying in one of the houses. Maybe it's a HMO. I've got a really strong feeling there's a HMO building on my street, and that's where they all staying. Now that's my British problem. Crackheads in my area. Right, as I mentioned, ignore that. I don't even know why that played. Like I said, I'm not going to edit this. I don't care. I've got my big final show, my half-soaked. I'll be half-soaked in a minute if I don't finish this podcast. So, let's go straight into a weird news story, and we'll call it a day. I can't even remember where my news, where my weed did. See, I told you, I'm not going to edit this. Where my weird news story is from, but having a look at it, I've finally found out. Now, weirdly enough, that woman who came over and asked me for a ladder so she can take down the flags probably needs to see a doctor. And that's what today's weird news story is all about. No more scribbling. That is the title of today's weird news. No more scribbling. The Indian court tells doctors to fix their handwriting. At a time when most people use keyboards to write, does handwriting really matter? Yes, say Indian courts, if the writer is a doctor. Jokes around the notoriously bad handwriting of many doctors that can only be deciphered by pharmacists are common in India, as around the world. But the latest order, emphasising the importance of a clear handwriting, came recently from the Punjab High Court, which said legible medical prescription is a fundamental right, as it can make a difference between life and death. The court order came in a case that had nothing to do with the written word. It involved allegations of cheating, forgery, and unjustable things that I don't want to say the word. Was hearing the man's petition for bail. The woman had alleged that the man had taken money from her, promising her a government job, conducted a fake interview, and then exploited her. The accused denied the charges. He said they had a consensual relationship and the case was brought on because of a dispute over money. Now, the justice said when he looked at the legal report written by the governor doctor who examined the woman, he found it incomprehensible. It shook the conscience of this court as not even a word or a letter was legible, he wrote in the order. So the BBC, who are reporting this, have seen a copy of the judgment, which includes the report and a 2-page prescription, which shows the doctor's unreadable scrawl. I think this is where all the story comes from. At a time when technology and computers are more easily accessible, it's shocking that the government doctors are still writing prescriptions by hand, which cannot be read by anybody except perhaps some chemists. The court asked the government to include handwriting lessons in the medical school curriculum and set a 2-year timeline for rolling out digested prescriptions. Until that happens, all doctors must write prescriptions clearly in capital letters. Dr. Dilip, shout out to Dr. Dilip, the president of Indian Medical Association, has more than 330,000 doctors as members. The BBC are willing to help to find a solution to the problem. In cities and bigger towns, he says, doctors have moved to digital prescriptions, but it's very difficult in rural areas and small towns to get prescriptions that are clear. It's a well-known fact that many doctors have poor handwriting. Well, that's because most medical practitioners are very busy. What, to learn how to write? Especially in overcrowded government hospitals. Oh, they're talking about India. We have recommended to our members to follow the government guidelines and write prescriptions in bold letters that should be readable to both the patient and the chemist. A doctor who sees 7 patients a day can do it, but if you see 70 a day, you can't do it. That's what they're saying. This is not the first time an Indian court has called out sloppy handwriting of doctors. In the past, there was flagged the zigzag style of handwriting by doctors and judges in Allahabad. The High Court, who lamented about reports written in such shabby handwriting that they're not decipherable. Studies, however, have failed to support the conventional wisdom that doctors' handwriting is worse than others. According to a 1999 report by the Institute of Medicine, medical errors caused at least an estimated 44,000 preventable deaths annually in the US, of which 7,000 was due to sloppy handwriting. That is amazing. So I think what they're trying to say is, because I don't want to read all of it, they're saying that the handwriting caused an issue in court, and because they couldn't read the handwriting, the case got dismissed. That's amazing. So doctors out there, if you listen to this podcast, I very highly doubt it. Sort your handwriting out, mate. Right, I'm going to go because I've got a show to prepare for. Thank you for sticking around, and yeah, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, as always, please do leave a review. It really helps. I can't even say the word.